The ballroom was overflowing with people. Nearly 200 employees, executives, and guests gathered to celebrate my promotion to senior vice president. My wife Lauren stood next to me, wearing the emerald green dress I had bought her for our anniversary a few months earlier. She smiled for photographs, laughed politely at coworkers' jokes, and played the role of the perfect, supportive corporate spouse. Everything looked exactly the way success is supposed to look from the outside. At 9:47 p.m., while we were standing near the bar speaking with a few colleagues, Lauren leaned closer to me and spoke quietly in my ear. "I need to run out to the car for a second. I left something there. I'll be right back." I kissed her cheek and nodded. "Okay, hurry back." She smiled, squeezed my hand once, and walked toward the exit doors. At the time, I had no reason to question it. 10 minutes passed, then 20, then 40. I sent her a quick text asking if everything was okay. No response. I tried calling her phone. It went straight to voicemail. I started wondering if something had happened in the garage or if she had run into someone outside. I was just about to excuse myself and go look for her when she finally reappeared through the ballroom doors. She looked slightly out of breath, but otherwise perfectly composed. Her makeup was flawless, her smile fixed in place like nothing unusual had happened. "Sorry," she said lightly, slipping her hand into mine. "I couldn't find my phone charger in the car." Something about her explanation felt off, but the night was busy. I had people congratulating me, speeches to give, and the biggest moment of my career unfolding around me. I ignored the uneasy feeling in my gut and let it go. I didn't think about it again until Monday morning. That's when my friend James, who worked in building security, quietly pulled me aside near the elevators at the office. His expression alone told me something was wrong. "Ryan," he said quietly, "we need to talk. It's about Friday night." He handed me a small flash drive. "This is from the parking garage cameras, level B3. The timestamp runs from 9:50 to 10:30 p.m. My stomach instantly tightened. "What's on it?" I asked. James shook his head slightly. "Just watch it before you do anything else. And Ryan, I'm really sorry." Then he walked away, leaving me standing there holding that tiny piece of plastic like it weighed 100 pounds. I went straight to my office, closed the door, locked it, and plugged the flash drive into my computer. The security footage opened immediately. Grainy black and white video from the parking garage on level B3. The timestamp read 9:50 p.m. Lauren's BMW appeared on the screen, pulling slowly into a parking spot in the far corner of the garage. It was an area that was darker than most of the level, away from the main elevators and most of the cameras, almost out of sight. Almost. At 9:51 p.m., another car pulled into frame, a black Audi. It parked 2 spaces away from Lauren's BMW. The driver's door opened and a man stepped out. Even through the low-quality security footage, I recognized him instantly. Trevor Hastings, 32 years old, one of my direct reports, a sharp, ambitious guy who worked under me in client services. Just the day before the party, I had personally approved his promotion to director. I had shaken his hand and congratulated him. Now I watched him walk across the garage directly toward my wife's car. He opened the passenger door and got inside. The car didn't move after that. The timestamp kept ticking forward. 9:52 p.m., then 9:55, then 10 o'clock. I kept staring at the screen, trying to convince myself that maybe they were just talking, maybe there was some reasonable explanation. But the car began to shift slightly, rocking in small, repeated movements, slow, rhythmic, subtle, but unmistakable. I felt the blood drain from my face. Minutes passed while I watched that car barely moving in the corner of the garage. 10:10 p.m., 10:20 p.m. The footage continued. At exactly 10:29 p.m., the passenger door opened. Trevor stepped out, straightening his tie and running a hand through his hair. He looked quickly around, then walked back to his Audi, climbed inside, and drove away. At exactly 10:30 p.m., Lauren stepped out of her BMW. She paused beside the driver's door, checked her reflection in the side mirror, fixed her makeup, smoothed the wrinkles in her dress, took a deep breath, and calmly walked toward the elevator that led back to the ballroom, back to the party, back to me,
back to the crowd of people celebrating my promotion while she had just spent 37 minutes in a parking garage with the man I had personally promoted. While I had been upstairs giving a speech about loyalty, teamwork, and trust, my wife had been downstairs in a car with my employee. If you want to know what I did with that footage, hit subscribe because what happened Monday morning made Trevor wish he had never met her. My name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm 39 years old, and until last Friday night, I believed I had everything in my life perfectly lined up. I was the Senior Vice President of Operations at Meridian Tech, a fast-growing software company based in Austin, Texas. My salary was well into six figures. I had a corner office waiting for me and a large package of stock options that would vest next year. I had been married to Lauren for 8 years. We didn't have children yet. We had talked about it many times, but always decided to wait until things slowed down a little in our careers. She worked as a marketing consultant and mostly worked from home, running
campaigns for various companies. She earned good money and maintained her own professional life. We had the kind of lifestyle people admire from a distance. A house in Westlake Hills, 2 nice cars in the driveway, vacations in Cabo and Napa. The kind of life people post online with smiling photos and captions about being blessed. I worked long hours and traveled often for work, but Lauren always seemed to support it. At least that's what I believed at the time. I trusted her completely. And looking back now, that blind trust was probably my biggest mistake. The promotion itself had been building for months. For the past 3 years, I had been pushing myself harder than ever, managing a team of 40 employees, overseeing projects worth millions of dollars, and consistently delivering results ahead of schedule. The company had saved huge amounts in operational costs because of changes my department implemented. When the CEO, Richard Caldwell, called me into his office back in March, I already had a feeling about what he was going to say. "Ryan," he said, leaning back in his chair, "we're restructuring the executive team. I want you to step in as Senior Vice President of Operations." It was the moment I had worked toward for my entire career. "Thank you, sir," I said immediately. "I won't let you down." "I know you won't," he replied. "We'll announce it at the quarterly meeting in April. Big celebration. The whole company will be there. Bring Lauren. We'll celebrate properly." When I left his office that day, I felt like I had just reached the summit of a mountain I'd been climbing for years. I called Lauren the second I stepped into the elevator. "Babe," I said, barely containing my excitement, "I got it! Senior VP!" She screamed so loudly I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "Oh my God, Ryan, I'm so proud of you." "There's a party Friday night," I told her. "Black tie, the entire company." "I'm getting a new dress," she said immediately. "This is huge. We are absolutely celebrating." Her excitement sounded genuine at the time. Now I wonder if it really was. The week leading up to the party was chaos. Meetings, press announcements, internal memos, transition plans. I was barely home except to sleep. Lauren seemed supportive during that week. She would have dinner waiting when I got home late. Sometimes she rubbed my shoulders while I answered emails late at night. "You're going to be amazing in this position," she kept telling me, and I believed her. On Wednesday night, she showed me the dress she bought for the party. Emerald green, elegant, and fitted perfectly. "What do you think?" she asked. "You'll be the most beautiful woman there," I told her, honestly. She kissed me softly and said, "I want you to be proud of me." "I'm always proud of you," I said. She smiled, but now that I think about it, there was something distant in her eyes that I didn't question at the time. Friday finally arrived. The party was held at the Driscoll Hotel downtown. The ballroom was decorated beautifully with soft lighting, a live band, a full open bar, and a catered dinner. Nearly 200 employees, executives, and board members attended. The company had clearly spared no expense. I wore my best suit. Lauren wore the emerald dress. We arrived around 7 p.m., and the atmosphere was electric. People shook my hand constantly, congratulated me, told me how well-deserved the promotion was. Lauren stayed close beside me the entire time, smiling and playing the role of the proud, supportive wife perfectly. At 8:30 p.m., Richard Caldwell gave a speech praising my leadership and my future with the company.
I stood beside Lauren on stage while the room applauded loudly. At 9:15 p.m., it was my turn to speak. I thanked the team, thanked Richard, and finally, I thanked Lauren. None of this would have been possible without my wife, I said, looking directly at her. She's been my rock. Lauren smiled and blew me a kiss while the crowd applauded. I meant every word of it. At 9:47 p.m., while we stood near the bar talking with coworkers, Lauren leaned in and quietly said, "I need to get something from the car. I'll be right back." I nodded. "Want me to come with you?" No, she said quickly. "You stay. Enjoy your night. I'll be just a minute." She kissed my cheek and walked out of the ballroom. 10 minutes later, I checked my watch. 9:57 p.m. She still wasn't back. I sent a quick text asking if she was okay. No reply. At 10:10 p.m., I called her phone. It went straight to voicemail. By 10:20, I started to feel uneasy. I excused myself from the conversation I was in and headed towards the elevator to go check the parking garage. Right as I reached the elevator, Lauren suddenly appeared, walking towards me. "There you are," I said. I was starting to worry. "Sorry," she said, slightly out of breath. "I couldn't find my phone charger in the car. Then I ran into Sarah from accounting and we started talking." "Your phone was off," I said. "Battery died," she replied quickly. "That's why I needed the charger." The explanation almost made sense, but something felt wrong. Her dress had faint wrinkles around the waist area. Her lipstick looked freshly reapplied. "You okay?" I asked. "Perfect," she said cheerfully, slipping her arm in mine. "Let's get back to your party." We returned to the ballroom, and I spent the rest of the evening shaking hands and making conversation while trying to ignore the strange feeling in my stomach. The party wrapped up around midnight. Lauren and I drove home separately because she had come directly from a client meeting earlier in the day. When we got home, she immediately went into the bathroom and turned on the shower. I sat on the edge of the bed, loosening my tie and replaying the evening in my head. Something about the whole thing didn't sit right.
When she came out wrapped in a towel, I asked quietly, "Did something happen tonight?" "What do you mean?" she asked. "You were gone for 40 minutes. "I told you," she said. "I ran into Sarah." "Sarah left around 9:30, I replied. "I watched her leave." Lauren's face tightened slightly. "Then it must have been someone else," she said. "I don't remember exactly. It was crowded." "Your phone was off for 40 minutes. "It died," she said sharply. "I already explained that." She turned away and started brushing her hair. "Lauren? Lauren, stop," she said suddenly. "You're being paranoid. I just asked. I went to the car, my phone died, I came back. That's it." Her tone was defensive and irritated. I wanted to push harder, but I was exhausted and emotionally drained from the entire night, and it had been my celebration. I didn't want to ruin it with an argument. "Okay," I said quietly. "Sorry." She softened immediately, walked over and kissed me. "Congratulations, baby. You earned this." We went to bed soon after. I barely slept. Monday morning, I sat in my brand new office reviewing quarterly reports when someone knocked on the door. It was James Reeves from Building Security. "Ryan," he said quietly, "you got a minute?" "Sure," I said. He closed the door behind him and placed a flash drive on my desk. "This is from the parking garage on Friday night, level B3. My stomach tightened instantly. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you're my friend," he said quietly, "and because you deserve to see it." Then he left the office. I stared at the flash drive for a long time before finally plugging it into my computer. The video opened on the security camera view of level B3. Timestamp, 9:50 p.m. Lauren's BMW pulled into frame and parked in a quiet corner of the garage. At 9:51 p.m., a black Audi pulled in 2 spaces away. A man stepped out. Even in the grainy footage, I recognized him immediately. Trevor Hastings, 32 years old, one of my direct reports. The same man I had promoted just the day before. I watched him walk straight toward my wife's car and climb inside. The car didn't move. The timestamp kept advancing. 9:52 p.m., 9:55 p.m., 10 p.m. The car began rocking slightly in slow, rhythmic movements. My hands went numb as I kept watching. 10:10 p.m., 10:20 p.m. Finally, at 10:29 p.m., the passenger door opened. Trevor stepped out, straightened his tie, and walked back to his Audi before driving away. At 10:30 p.m., Lauren stepped out of her BMW, checked her makeup in the mirror, smoothed her dress, and calmly walked back toward the elevator. Back to the ballroom, back to me. The video ended. I sat frozen in my chair, staring at the blank screen. My wife and my employee had spent 37 minutes together in a parking garage while I stood upstairs giving a speech about loyalty and teamwork. I replayed the footage multiple times, searching for any possible alternative explanation. There wasn't one. Eventually, I removed the flash drive and locked it inside my desk drawer. Then I sat there trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do next. I didn't go home that night. Instead, I texted Lauren. "Working late, don't wait up." She replied almost immediately. "Okay, love you." Love you. I stared at those words for a long time, until they stopped feeling real. I checked into a hotel near the office and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at nothing. I ordered room service, but didn't touch the food when it arrived. A little later, my phone buzzed again. Another message from Lauren. "You okay?" "Fine," I texted back. "Just swamped." "Don't work too hard. You just got promoted. Enjoy it." Enjoy it. I turned off my phone. The next morning, I made a phone call. Not to a divorce lawyer. Not yet. I called my corporate attorney instead. His name was Paul Hendris. Smart, discreet, extremely expensive. "Paul," I said when he answered, "I need some advice, off the record." "I'm listening," he replied. I told him everything. The footage, Trevor, Lauren. He stayed silent for a long moment. "Ryan, I'm sorry, that's rough. I need to know my options. Legally, you're in a tricky spot. Trevor's your employee. If you fire him without cause, he could sue for wrongful termination. He slept with my wife in a company parking garage during a company event. That's a liability issue, but it's also a personal issue. You need to separate the two." "How?" "Document everything. Don't confront him yet. Don't confront her yet. Build your case, then act." "What kind of case?" "If you're going to fire Trevor, you need it to be about performance or policy violations, not about your marriage. Otherwise, you open the company up to a lawsuit." I rubbed my face. This is insane. "I know, but you're a senior VP now. Every move you make is scrutinized. You need to be smart." "What about Lauren?" "That's personal, but if you're thinking divorce, document everything. Texas is a community property state, but infidelity can impact things like alimony." "We don't have kids. That simplifies it. But Ryan, before you do anything, make sure this is what you want. Once you pull this trigger, there's no going back." I hung up. I knew what I wanted. I wanted the truth. I went back to the office, called James. "I need more footage. Everything from that night. Every camera angle." "Ryan, please." He hesitated, then nodded. "I'll pull it." By that afternoon, I had 12 different camera angles from the parking garage. I watched all of them. 9:47 p.m., Lauren leaves the ballroom, takes the elevator down. 9:50, she pulls into level B3. 9:51, Trevor follows. He'd left the ballroom 2 minutes after her. They'd coordinated this. I checked the footage from earlier in the night. 8:21 p.m., Lauren and Trevor talking near the bar. Close, too close. 8:27 p.m., Trevor's hand on her lower back as he walks past. 9:30 p.m., Lauren texting someone, smiling. 9:45 p.m., Trevor checking his watch, then his phone. 2 minutes later, Lauren tells me she needs to go to the car. This wasn't spontaneous. This was planned. I made copies of everything, saved them to 3 different drives, sent one to Paul, kept 2 locked in my office safe. Then I went home. Lauren was in the kitchen making dinner. "Hey, stranger," she said, smiling. "Missed you last night." "Sorry, crazy day. I made your favorite chicken parmesan." She kissed me. I tasted wine on her lips. We ate dinner, made small talk. She asked about work. I asked about her day. Normal routine, like nothing had happened. After dinner, she curled up next to me on the couch. "I'm really proud of you. You've worked so hard for this." I looked at her, this woman I'd been married to for 8 years. "Lauren, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Friday night, when you went to the car, did you see anyone from the company?" She tensed just slightly. "What do you mean? Did you run into anyone from the company?" I don't think so. Why?" "Just wondering." She studied my face. "Ryan, what's going on?" "Nothing, just making sure you're okay." She relaxed. "I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?" I smiled. No reason. But I saw it. The flicker of fear in her eyes. She knew something was wrong. She just didn't know that I knew. Wednesday morning, I called Trevor into my office. "Close the door," I said. He did, sat down, smiled. "What's up, boss?" I slid a folder across the desk. "I need you to review this client proposal. Give me your thoughts by Friday." "Sure thing." He reached for the folder. I didn't let go. "Trevor, how was the party Friday night?" He blinked. "Great, really great. Congrats again, man. You deserve it." "Thanks. Did you stay the whole time?" "Yeah, pretty much. Left around midnight." "You didn't leave early? Not even for a few minutes?" His smile faltered. "No? Why?" "Just checking. We're reviewing attendance for the event, making sure everyone enjoyed themselves." "Oh, yeah. No, I was there the whole time." I let go of the folder. "Good. Thanks, Trevor." He stood, walked to the door. "Trevor," he turned. "One more thing. How's your Audi running?" His face went white. "My what?" "Your car. Black Audi, right? I saw it in the garage Friday night. Just wondering if you're happy with it." He swallowed. "Yeah, it's great." "Good. That's good." He left. I watched him through the glass wall of my office. He went straight to his desk, pulled out his phone. 30 seconds later, my phone buzzed. "Lauren, can we talk tonight?" I smiled. Now they were scared. That night, I didn't go home. I texted Lauren. "Emergency at work. Might be here all night." She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, "Ryan, please, we need to talk." I turned off my phone. Instead, I went back to the hotel, ordered a bourbon, sat on the balcony. My phone buzzed. I turned it back on. A voicemail from Lauren. "Ryan, I don't know what's going on, but you're scaring me. Please call me back. I love you." I deleted it. Another voicemail. This one from Trevor. "Hey Ryan, just wanted to follow up on that proposal. Also, if you need to talk about anything, I'm here. You seem stressed. Anyway, call me." I deleted that too. They were panicking. Good. Thursday morning, I called Paul. "I'm ready." "You sure?" "Positive." "Okay, here's what we do." He walked me through it step by step. First, HR file a complaint about Trevor, not about the affair, about inappropriate conduct during a company event. Use the parking garage footage as evidence of policy violations, personal use of company property, leaving a company event without authorization. Second, divorce attorney, file papers, use the footage as evidence of infidelity. Third, stay calm, don't engage, let the process work. "This is going to get messy," Paul warned. "I know. Are you ready for that?" I thought about the footage, about Lauren's lie, about Trevor's smile. "Yeah," I said. "I'm ready." Friday morning, I walked into HR with Paul and James. We met with the director, Monica Reeves. "Monica, we have a situation." I showed her the footage. She watched in silence. When it ended, she sat back. "Jesus, Ryan, I'm sorry. I need this handled properly. I can't have it look like I'm retaliating because of my personal life." "Understood. This is a clear violation of company policy, inappropriate conduct, misuse of company property during a company event. I can work with this. What's the process?" "We'll open an investigation, interview Trevor, review the footage. If the evidence supports it, and it does, we'll terminate his employment." "How long?" "A week, maybe 2. "Do it."
That afternoon, Trevor was called into HR. I watched from my office as he walked past, face pale, hands shaking. He was in there for 2 hours. When he came out, he looked destroyed. He didn't come back to his desk, just grabbed his jacket and left. I got an email from Monica. Investigation opened. He's on administrative leave pending review. I forwarded it to Paul. Then I went home. Lauren was waiting in the living room. "We need to talk," she said. "I know." "Ryan, I don't know what you think happened." I pulled out my laptop, opened the footage. I know exactly what happened. I pressed play. She watched. Her face went from confused to horrified to pale. When it ended, she looked at me. "Ryan, don't. Don't lie to me. Not anymore." She started crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I stood up. "I'm filing for divorce." "Ryan, please." "It's already done. You'll be served next week."
"We can fix this." "No," I said, "we can't." I grabbed my keys. "Where are you going?" "Anywhere but here." I left. The divorce took 6 months. Lauren fought it at first, tried counseling, tried apologies, but the footage didn't lie. Texas isn't a no-fault state when infidelity is involved. She got nothing. No alimony, no house, just her car and whatever she'd saved. Trevor was fired after the investigation concluded. He tried to sue for wrongful termination. Paul buried him in paperwork. The case was dismissed. Last I heard, he's working at a startup in Dallas, making half what he made here. Lauren moved back to Houston. I don't know what she's doing now. I don't care. 6 months after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name is Claire. She's a teacher. She has no idea what I do for a living. We met at a coffee shop. She spilled her latte on my laptop. We laughed, exchanged numbers, started talking. She's kind, honest, real. She doesn't care about my title or my salary. She just cares about me. We're taking it slow, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. People ask me if I regret how I handled it, if I should have confronted Lauren sooner, if I should have given her a chance to explain. The answer is no, because the footage told me everything I needed to know. She didn't make a mistake. She made a choice. She chose to lie, to sneak around, to betray me on the night I was being celebrated. And I chose not to let her get away with it. I still work at Meridian, still senior VP, but I learned something through all of this. Success means nothing if the people you trust are tearing you down behind your back. I built my career on loyalty and integrity, and I expect the same from the people in my life. And if they can't give me that, then they don't deserve a place in it. If this story hit home, comment, "I choose me." If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever had to choose between your heart and your dignity, if you've ever walked away from someone who didn't deserve you, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the quiet strength it takes to choose yourself. Because loyalty isn't just something you give, it's something you demand. And if they can't meet that standard, then the security footage will do the talking for.